Hey guys, so I am going to be filming Karley's birth vlog. Finally is now 6 months and I'm just now getting this video up. With quarantine and everything that happened, it's just been a whirlwind. We've had the kids home all 6 months, as I'm sure all of you guys know. This video is going to be a lot different than what Elena's and Caden's was like, only because it went so fast and I wasn't planning on going into labor when I did, but I will tell you the whole story, and I have a few clips to put in to kind of show you the progression of how Karley came into this world.
Morning everybody. So today is March 13th and obviously I'm still here. So I am 39 weeks. I will be 40 weeks on Monday. Last night I really thought it was going to be it. When I went to bed I was having like really bad pressure, backaches. I've been having like looser stools, which I've heard can, sorry that's probably TMI, but I've heard can be a sign or symptom. I just feel like I've been having all the signs and symptoms of pre-labor, but nothing has really happened yet. I have my NST this morning, which I'm excited to go to, because if you watched my 39-week update, I was talking about how they're having me do kick counts and everything, so I'm excited to go again just to make sure that little one in here is doing better than she was on Tuesday's NST. My birthday is actually tomorrow, so I'm wondering if she's gonna come on my birthday or if she's coming after. I have a feeling she's gonna come on either like St. Patrick's Day or the 18th, which is actually my due date when my mom was pregnant with me. It's just a waiting game. I don't know if she's gonna come this weekend or whatever. My next doctor's appointment with my regular OB is on Monday at 10:30. So at that point, I guess we'll discuss more options. I could be here anytime, and I feel in my body like it's going to be soon, just because of all of like the pressure that I've been having. I don't know if you guys can see outside. It's the guest house, but it's all wet and rainy out. It's even predicted to snow next Wednesday, which we don't get snow. We're in Southern California. So it is pretty icy and chilly out. It has been pretty relaxing the last few days, only because, as you guys know, the coronavirus is closing everything down, including Disneyland, and we're in a pandemic and everything around us, including sports, all activities are canceled. So it's been really nice and relaxing around here, which is probably great for pre-labor. And we're kind of trying to stay away from everybody.
After that clip, I went to go get my NST done to measure like the fluid, the heart rate, and all of that kind of stuff. And when I had gone in, they said that water was like super dangerously low, the worst it had ever been. And so they pumped me with IV fluids.
So I'm in the hospital. They admitted me again because my fluid was 5.5, even though I'm drinking over 100 ounces of water a day. I'm starting to wonder if I'm leaking fluid, which I don't think I am, but they have me hooked up to another IV. Let's see. I have it under the cover because my hand is freezing under there with the saline going in. 39 weeks and 4 days, so they're talking about just inducing me and getting her out. But when they did the cervix check, she said I was like maybe a fingertip dilated and my cervix was still really high. So what the doctor's gonna do, I don't know. They're hydrating me. I have to be here for 3 hours, and then they're gonna do another fluid test and see if my fluid goes up. But I'm drinking so much water and it keeps going down, so it's getting frustrating for sure. I wish the doctor would just induce me, to be honest. She has left hydronephrosis, so it makes sense why the water is not good in there, and I think we just need to get her out. But let's see if the doctor agrees. When she was looking at my ECG chart, she said the baby's heart rate was really good, which is amazing, and I was having contractions every like 2 to 3 minutes on the chart. I don't know if I still am, but I can't really see it over there. I guess I have to wait for her to come back in. Okay, so update is they talked to the other doctor and she wanted to order a more extensive ultrasound just to check everything again, and they want to see how much baby weighs right now. They asked me how much my other two weighed, and I told them 6 pounds 9 ounces and 6 pounds 8 ounces. So I think they're gonna try and see if baby is close to that. Almost done. No, I still have like a whole bag of saline. I was sitting here and the contractions on the monitor were showing, and they were starting to get like pretty strong where I had to breathe through them, but she said it was probably because I just had a cervix check, and sometimes it can like irritate the cervix and cause that, and it should calm down, so we'll see. Okay, so I'm in labor on my own actually. It's almost 5 o'clock. no, that time's wrong. It's probably almost 3 o'clock. And they checked me. I was 1 centimeter dilated. I came in not dilated at all. They're still waiting to see if they're gonna admit me or if I get to go home. When she did the check, I was bleeding, so we'll see.
Called Alan and my mom and I said they're admitting me, like, let's do this. And Alan asked if he should leave work, and I'm like, no, like, just finish your day. He only had about 10 minutes left. I was like, I'm good here at the hospital. And it was really funny because all of the nurses kept telling me, they were like, don't you have anyone that can be here for you? And I'm like, yeah, I have tons of people that want to be here, but what's the purpose of just coming here and sitting and looking at me when I know nothing's gonna happen for a while? And they literally told me, they were like, wow, I wish everyone was like you. Like, you're so easy.
Okay, so now I have a really big update. It is, what time is it?
7:18.
It's 7:18 and I'm officially admitted, yay! So when they did the last ultrasound, I don't know what the results were. They were checking for her hydronephrosis, which I think it was at 14, which I forgot to tell Alan about. Alan's parents have Caden. My sister's picking Elena up from gymnastics. My parents just got to the hospital and we're here. It is March 13th. I kind of don't think she's gonna come until tomorrow. So I think it's gonna be a long night. Alan finally got here. He brought all of our hospital bags, babe. He brought the hospital bags and everything. We'll just see how long this takes. I think it's gonna be a while, just based off of how I feel.
So I was pretty excited, and while we were there, I remember my mom being like, oh my God, she's gonna be born on your birthday, because my birthday is March 14th and all of this was going on the day before. So at this point, my mom and my dad went over to the hospital, and my mom came in the room with me, and I had called my sister because at this point it was around 7:30 at night, and I said, hey, like, go pick up Elena from gymnastics, bring her back to the hospital. It's really funny because, as you'll see, they were all sleeping in the lobby waiting for baby to be born. Lo and behold, I was in labor all night. And there's a really funny video that we did on TikTok because my contractions, we were walking around the hospital a ton, and I took a birthing class, and she was like, if you want the contractions to speed up, like, walk with purpose. And I was like running through those hallways, and people were like, man, you're going for it. And I was like, yeah, I want this baby out. I like had my pole in hand and I was going down the hallway, and you will see the TikTok video that we did.
Mama, she gon' do that, baby mama.
Work.
She gon' put it on you. She gon' do that, baby mama. Drop,
Drop it down, drop it down, down low.
Drop, drop,
Drop it
drop,
down,
drop,
drop it down, down low.
drop, drop,
Drop it
drop,
down, drop it
drop,
down, down low.
drop, drop.
In the meantime, Elena was coming in and out. The contractions were actually starting to die out as we were walking through the hallways, and they weren't picking up. So I asked the nurses, like, can you please ask the doctor if I can have Pitocin just to kind of speed up labor? And they were like, well, she really doesn't want it ordered until tomorrow morning. And so I'm like, great, we're gonna be at this like all night. And then finally, it was really great, the nurse that I had, I think her name was like Tamisha or something, but she called the nurse for me and said, hey, like, she really wants the Pitocin, and the doctor allowed me to have it. And so that like kind of sped up labor, and they kept pushing the Pitocin number going up, and I kept saying like, yeah, it hurts, and then it would die out. And I was just like, it's really not feeling anything. Like, yeah, it hurts, but it's not anywhere near the pain level that I know that it should be. So they're like, all right, we're gonna crank it up. So they cranked it up, and at this point I was getting kind of tired of laying in the bed. And so this nurse, who ended up being my delivery nurse, her name was Julie, she was awesome. She gave me like this big, like a medicine ball, but it was shaped like a peanut, because I had forgotten my medicine ball or my labor ball at home, and our neighbor actually ended up bringing it. But they had like this peanut shaped one that they had at the hospital, and she told me that if you put it between your legs and like lay on your side, that it really widens your pelvis and can make labor go faster. Like, I was thinking of everything I could do to get this labor like going and be done with. And so I hadn't used it. I was getting tired of laying in the bed, and so I'm like, you know what, let's give it a try. So I grabbed this big peanut labor ball and I laid on my side, I put it between my legs, and within seconds my water broke. And I went, oh shoot. And everyone's like, what? And I'm like, my water broke. And it was just like coming out. Like, I felt like I had endless water. You could just feel the warm water going through. And it actually felt kind of good, because I can just remember being in so much pain, and it was like cramping and it was burning, and that water just kind of like eased the pain. So after my water broke, that first contraction, I was like, oh, I know it's gonna be bad, because once your water breaks, the contractions really get bad. And it did. I could feel the intensity, and the nurses were like, oh, well, now you're finally hurting like you wanted. And I'm like, yes, like I was so excited, but I was also like, ow, this hurts so bad.
Don't hold your breath. Keep breathing. Oxygen relaxes the muscles.
Good breathing, good breathing. Relax your shoulders. Relax your shoulders.
Just a couple minutes to check on you, okay? You feel like something's changing, you call me right away. So good.
And that was around probably 7 in the morning that my water broke. So once they checked me after that, I was probably around like 5 centimeters dilated. And I had told them, like, once I reach 4 or 5 centimeters dilated, the nurses don't believe me with my other 2 labors, but my kids like come. And so they prepared all of the stuff, like getting ready for her to come, called the doctor, told her like, hey, like she's at her 4 to 5 centimeter mark. She said she goes really fast. And then lo and behold, it's like my one baby that I didn't have super, super fast. So throughout labor, I like kept getting up and down, walking around. This time, actually, most of the time with labor, I would like to like sit up in a chair and like kind of like lean on someone. For the first half of my labor, I was really liking laying in the bed sideways and like holding onto the railing, which you'll see in the video. But then once it got really bad, I wanted to sit up again. And I remember at one point saying I have to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom and she was like, just don't have the baby in the bathroom. And so I could feel like my uterus just like stretching, and I could feel like the burning sensation, and I knew it was going to come fast, but it wasn't like coming as fast as my other labor. So I was kind of like, geez, like how long is this going to take? And at this point I was like really getting tired because I hadn't slept the whole night before. I was just like shaking trying to get through these contractions. And I remember telling them like, I don't even care, I want the epidural, just get me the epidural. I am so tired and I can't do this anymore, and I know I'm close, but I can't take one more contraction. And so I told them, and then my mom had kind of like talked me out of it. So I'm like, okay, hold on it, like we won't get it. And then maybe a few more minutes went by and I'm like, yeah, no, never mind, I want it. So they called the anesthesiologist and he came into the room. Before they started the epidural, they told my family to leave because it could only be me and the nurses. And while this guy was doing it, I felt so bad for the nurse because my family, I was like squeezing onto. I had my sister's shirt in my mouth, really hurting them. And so I'm like, this poor nurse, and I give her bruises. I had told, like, Elena was in the room. They told Elena to leave, Alan to leave, my sister to leave, my mom to leave. And he put the needle in my back and was preparing it. And before he could set up all of it and like tape it down and get it all ready, I'm like, okay, I have to push. So she checked me and she's like, honey, you're only 8 centimeters. And I'm like, no, I have to push. So they put me back up. He was starting to like finish the epidural, and then I was like, no, I have to push. So he just like taped it on with like the needle in my back, nothing connected, no medicine going in. And she like looked and she's like, okay, you are. She was like, you just went from 8 to 10. And so she like flung me on the bed and they're like, all right, it's time to push. And I looked around and I'm like, oh my God, nobody's here that needs to be in here. And so I'm like, get my family, get my family. And she was like, I need my husband. Like, you need to get my husband. I was like, where is he? And then she just kind of was like, push. And I'm like, no, get my husband, get my mom. Like, I need them in here. So the nurses like realized that my family's not in the room, that my husband's out of the room. And so she opens the door, and my room was right next to the waiting room. So she opens up the door and she was like, come on, she's having the baby. And Alan had just left with Elena to go get her a drink, and he was walking down the hallway and leaving, and my mom and my sister ran in, and my niece Melanie ran to go get him. She was like, hurry, Auntie's having the baby. And he's like, I just left the room. She's like, go back. So Alan like leaves Elena, who was supposed to be in the room, and I'm like, oh, I could still kill him for this, but she was pretty much in it for all of it. They were actually going to allow her in there, and she was up in there until the very last minute and came in the minute she was born. So I mean, like, really, she didn't miss much except for the pushing. But so Alan like runs in the room and he was like, whoa, what's going on? And then like within seconds, like they were like, push. So I was like pushing. They didn't even have time to put my legs in the stirrups again. They didn't have time to position the bed. No doctor was there. There was like an on-call midwife. And I remember the nurses being like, should I get her? And the head nurse was like, yeah, go get her. She's delivering now. And so Alan was on the back of me and he was pushing my back. And then I had my mom on this side and my sister on this side. I remember them telling me like, you gotta push. And this was the hardest delivery that I had to do as far as pushing because my other kids came out so fast. I remember pushing like really, really hard and she like was not coming out. And I could just feel the burning sensation and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't. It hurts so bad. And it just felt like she was like bulging and I felt like I was never gonna get her out and I was just pushing so hard. And I remember the nurse saying like, you gotta get her out, push as hard as you can. And I pushed with like all my might and the back of my head, Alan had said, come on, this is the last time you ever have to do this. And in my mind, I like clicked and I'm like, we're doing this. And I pushed as hard as I could and I got her out.
Good job.
And when she first came out, I remember like looking down and she was just kind of like laying like on her side, on her right side, on the side of the bed. And I didn't know, but apparently the cord was wrapped around her neck twice, which shortened the cord. So when I was delivering her, it was making harder for her to come out because I had to push all that baby out with hardly any like elasticity. And the cord, it was super tight. She wasn't breathing when she came out. She was so purple and I didn't realize it. And they were kind of like brushing her off and stuff. And then I remember the midwife getting scissors ready to cut her cord because it was kind of like an emergency. And at that point it caught my attention because I remember Kayla needing that when he had the meconium. And then I saw her like calm down for a second and then she let Alan do it. And then I remember one of the nurses kind of like hitting her butt saying, I think we need to resuscitate. And in that second I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And then all of a sudden she goes, never mind, she's breathing. And I heard Karley cry for the first time. And my mom said, looking at it from her perspective, because she kind of saw what was going on, it seemed like it was forever that she didn't take a breath. And thank goodness I didn't know. But I remember the moment she came out, the first thing I said is, oh my God, I never have to do this again. And I started crying. And then they took her over to the side, kind of like got her all good, made sure she was all cleared out her lungs. And then they gave her to me for the first time.
So beautiful. We'll give you another medication. No, just pour it anyway. Did you get to cut the cord?
I did.
It keeps going up. I know.
Elena came in immediately. She got to see her while they were like still like stitching me up.
Lena, who are you holding? Oh my goodness, look at that yawn. See this stick it tummy at me. I think she likes you.
It's weird, so my birthday on her birthday.
Oh.
I think I had a 2nd degree tear. And then like Melanie and Tony came in and everyone came in and they saw her while I was still kind of like getting cleaned up. And then I nursed her and stuff. And then as soon as all of that was done, I got to be in warm blankets. They took me to my delivery room.
So this is the room that they put me in post labor and delivery. I'm actually watching Twilight on TV. That is going to be Alan's bed over there. Kaden, what do you think of your sister? You need more sanitizer? Okay, Daddy will help you in a minute. He wants more sanitizer. Hey guys, so I have baby Karley. She just had milk for her 2nd time. She was born at 10:35 this morning. I don't know what video footage we have. I don't know anything. because it was all over everyone's phones because everything was so crazy and chaotic. But it is now 4 o'clock. Elena and Kaden have visited, all of our visitors, and Alan went to IHOP to go get me some pancakes and bacon because that's what I wanted. And my sister got me some Starbucks with Elena. So yeah, it's 4 o'clock. Waiting for Daddy to come back. I'll go like this so you guys can see her because that's who we want to see, huh? Elena's actually at my sister's house and Kaden went home for a nap, and I feel so bad because I feel like my kids are just spread out and I should be there with them. So I'm feeling a little sad, but I am so happy to be with baby Karley, and I know they're gonna be so happy when she comes home and we can be all together. I got a picture of each of them separately, but not together yet. We'll have our first night together. She was born at, like, I think I said 10:35 this morning. She was 7 pounds and 5 ounces, 19.5 inches, just like Elena was. And her Apgar scale was actually a 6 because when she came out, the umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck twice. I think her head circumference was like 13 or 13.5 or something. She is our biggest baby yet. Baby girl, are you looking at mommy? She's doing so good breastfeeding already. She's latching amazing. She just finished a 15-minute breastfeeding session. She's so precious, guys. Look at her. I have 2 girls and 1 boy. Mama of 3. I can't believe it. She's just being such a good little girl. You're looking around, baby? Do you want more milk? I think she does. All right, we're gonna do another breastfeeding session. She is so alert. She finished feeding. I'm gonna change her diaper soon. Her bruising went away. When she was first born, she had a lot of bruising on her face, but it's starting to go away. I still see a little bit right here, but it was much better already. Are you my second baby girl? I keep calling her him because of Kaden. I'm so used to having a boy. That's the baby. Huh? Say, but I'm a girl, mama. Hello. I kind of want to get her in a cute little outfit for bed. Some of our own little blankies. Take some cute pictures. What do you think, Karley? That what you think? Silly girl. Hi, sweetie. It's like 7 o'clock. We just took a 40-minute nap. Baby girl got her first bath. And look at, where is he? She has a little pink bow in her hair and she's been sleeping like such a good girl. I'm feeling really shooken. Very like in shock and anxious. My uterus hurts. So it's the next day and Elena came back to visit baby sister. Grandpa's here. You see your sister? What do you think?
She's really cute.
Yeah?
Really, 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 really,
Yeah.
really, really good.
Okay, so quick update. It is Monday, March 16th, and it's like 10 in the morning. We ended up having to stay 2 nights, well, 1 night in labor, 2 nights after, because we have to wait the 48 hours for her ultrasound for urology because of the hydronephrosis. She got all of her testing done for hearing, heart, and everything that they test for, and everything was really good. Her oxygen. The only thing is her bilirubin levels were kind of high. So right now she is in this little machine. Alan took some pictures that I'll include, and they're trying to get her jaundice to go down. as soon as she's been in there for a few hours and the ultrasound people come, we'll get more answers regarding what's going on with her hydronephrosis. Hopefully we can get discharged. I told them to start working on the papers, so that way as soon as everything's done we can get home, because we're both tired of being in this hospital and being woken up. Last night she had a hard time going to sleep. She had a lot of gas, and finally she fell asleep around like 3, and then of course they come in and go, oh, we have to check her bilirubin levels, and then like pricked her foot and woke her up. So it took her another hour to calm down, go back to sleep, and then we slept until about 8:15 this morning. So that was the most rest I've gotten since she's been born, a full 4 hours since she's in there. I think we're gonna try and rest some more, so that way when we go home we are rested for all the kids. And I know they're super anxious for us to get back, and we want to see all of them together. Since the coronavirus is going around right now, they just put in place, I think last night or this morning, no visitors except for spouses, because I guess there was like too many people walking the halls and it was getting dangerous. But that's not surprising because the whole world is shut down right now. So let's see. Alan, peek your head. That has been Alan's bed for 2 days, and this bed is not that comfortable either because it's a labor and delivery bed and it sections into 2 and I keep falling in the middle. It's awful. We just want to go home, shower, get cozy, and start living normal lives. So we just did the ultrasound and we're waiting on results. Baby girl's hanging out in here, she's chilling. Now they have me supplementing with some formula just to try to kind of flush her jaundice out, which they're using the Similac Pro Advance, which is this one. But it's not very much, it's just to kind of help keep her full so she'll stay in there and flush that out, hopefully. So my milk hasn't come in yet and we're on day 2, so I'm hoping it comes in tonight or tomorrow. Alan we have 2 cars here because when we came I wasn't planning on staying, so he went home to exchange his car out, see the kids, and be back. Okay, so it's official. It's 6:52. We're on our way home and the kids get to be there together to meet her. She's in the car seat right here. I was like, I've never not driven in the back with one of the kids going home, but we have so much stuff all over that I didn't fit, and Caden's car seat is back there. So we're finally gonna have the whole family together, my mom made dinner, and we're gonna make it there just in time for that. So how are you feeling, Daddy?
Excited to be home, going home.
Yeah, it was a long stay, and I was just telling him I feel bad because sometimes when you leave the hospital you're with the nurses for so long and then you don't see them anymore. I think that'd be a hard part of being a nurse.
Like, that's it.
Yeah, you take care of these babies and then they're gone and you don't know what happens.
The next baby comes. It never ends.
So we're leaving the hospital. Here's the hospital. Bye-bye.
Karley's first time in a car on the street.
That's right, her first car ride. And it's so crazy because of coronavirus going around right now. The hospital's like shut down. They wouldn't even let Alan like walk inside without 100 questions. And it was empty in the halls. It's like a ghost town everywhere. It's crazy. Oh yeah, Tamisha. Yeah. Our nurse that we have is leaving.
Remember Kayla? We had the baby. We're going home finally. Take care.
Bye. That was funny. Yeah, see, so you make friends with all the nurses. But anyway, that's really exciting. We're going home. I am really excited to have all the kids together, but I'm really also scared to have 3 kids to put to bed tonight. So this is going to be interesting, especially because the kids are off school for 3 weeks, and it's going to be a lot of fun with not very much sleep, I have a feeling.
What's that wrong?
Who is that?
Baby Karley?
Baby Karley?
Yeah.
You don't have to whisper, you just don't yell.
She's officially
Do you want to see the baby?
Right.
Mommy.
She's just not pretty.
Mommy, let me see, Mommy.
Yeah, you can look. Tell Grandma pick you up so you can see.
Mama.
You guys like sit. You see, her face is already like sculptured and.
Mommy, happy.
What do you think about that? Huh?
Happy.
You want uppy?
Yeah.
Is she in there?
Yeah.
Dear baby Karley.
Tell me how it was the day your sister was born.
Well, it was fun, but I was also sad that my dad didn't bring me in. I mean, she looked a lot like me. She was born with very sharp nails and actually scratched me.
How was it watching mommy in labor?
I acted like a monkey. Oh yeah, so I was at daycare and I was playing with my friends and my teacher got a text and she told me, and then my dad came and then he picked me up and I was just happy and scared, and it was also raining that day. So
You're right, it was.
yeah, it was crazy.